Hey, little gay boys and girls and fag hags. So, real quick, let's talk about Monique. She's trending again because she's basically going to bat talking about the pay disparities that exist for black women in comedy. It's to be commended. Some people are mad. They're going to have to stay mad because she's doing what she feels like she has to do, and that's to be commended. Thankfully, Wanda Sykes came out as well and was like, hey, I got a low ball offer too. And it's really sad that between the two of them, you know, history making black women in comedy, that between the two of them, they together were offered less than $1 million for specials. And $500,000, which is what Monique was offered, is not a lot of money after you pay your team and after you pay your lawyers and they take taxes out of that shit. As hard as a comedy special is, y'all got her fucked up. So I can understand why she would be upset. But even looking back over the history of how black stand-up comedians, black entertainers, period, have been treated, I think it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to put on the table and bring to light. For instance, one of my favorites, Jackie Moms Mabley, who I love. I still got her records. This is not the only one. That's just one of the ones that I have right here. Um, First black woman in stand-up comedy, history making, endured everything, and still died without a whole lot of money. That's a problem. You look at people like Red Fox and Robin Harris and LaWanda Page and Slappy White and all these other folks who died without money after years and years and years of labor and doing all types of television. Even looking at Tupac and Left Eye, who basically lived for the last few years of their lives only on the merit of their name. That's how they survived. Dying without money. That's a problem. Mary J. Blige was homeless last year. That's a problem. And I think it's really important to speak about a lot of these issues that affect us. I'm in this business. I do want somebody to have that conversation. I think that it's important. Um, Finally, it really hurts me that some people, especially some other black men who, are in stand up comedy, are making a mockery out of this. Some people are trying to assassinate her character. And I just want to go on record and say Monique is one of the most generous women that I've had the blessing and pleasure of working with over the years in this business. She's always protected me. She's always made sure that I got paid, which anybody who does comedy and knows anything about this business knows that sometimes, depending on who you're dealing with, like you really got to have somebody to shake that shit up. And then, of course, being a black gay man in stand-up comedy, which I was one of the very first doing it, a lot of places just weren't hiring anything other than men who were getting up there talking about how much pussy they was banging every night. And she got me people like her, Adele Givens, Lunel even, got me into a lot of these clubs. Like, hey, this motherfucker is funny. Fuck y'all. I'm bringing you with me. And they got me in. One of the last times that I worked with Monique, which was last year, I'm up in front of the audience and I'm doing my thing. And, I do well in front of all audiences, but this is one hotep ass motherfucker who's sitting in the front row just looking at me. And as soon as I say, I'm gay or whatever, he said, "Oh man, I knew he was a faggot." And I'm like, I could tell because I saw how you were looking at me lustfully. No, I'm playing, but I'm dealing with him or whatever, and I'm winning the audience and all types of stuff, and I can see he's getting mad. And I knew enough to leave it alone because that brother was so uncomfortable with his own sexuality that he was getting upset about me owning him on that stage that he would have probably gotten up there if I wouldn't left it alone. Mind you, I wasn't saying anything out of pocket or whatever. I got the mic in my hand, motherfucker, bitch. They came to see us, okay? And I finished the show. I go backstage. Monique goes, "Baby, what did that nigga just say to you? What did he call you?" And I said, "He called me a faggot." And she said, "I got this." And she went out there and she handled it for me. And that stayed with me along with all the other wonderful things that she did. I want you to see that video of her, how she handled him. And that meant a lot to me. And I just think it's important for people to stand up and support people who are doing their best to make sure that people get treated fairly. So with that, I say I love you, Monique, and God bless you. And I hope that one day this is a conversation that we don't even have to have because people are treated fairly all over.
Y'all know that I'm watching. And when that baby Samson was up here, and the moment he said he was gay, I watched you. Oh, nigga, I watched you. And Brother Phil wanted to be fucked up. He wanted to be fucked up that this gay black man was in front of him. But that motherfucker was so funny. Brother Phil said, go on this side. Go on this side, get nigga out. Go on this because I know what it is, I understand it. You're saying, black man, however could you be gay with all these beautiful black women because that nigga was born that way? Do you think he wants to fuck in the ass or get fucked in the ass? Have you ever tried to ass fuck something before you go to church? You be praying, Father Jesus, Father Jesus. See, Brother Phil, love will make you put your guard down. Love will make you love a motherfucker that you didn't think you could love because of how he was born to be. But what I dig about you, nigga, you sat right there and you let your heart take over and didn't let your mind fuck it up. And because of that, your name is Jolene, she's gonna let you fuck her in the ass later on.